I will be discussing the Meyer versus Nebraska case, which went to the Supreme Court in 1923. It dealt with a teacher who was tried and convicted for unlawfully teaching the subject of reading in the German language to a 10-year-old boy named Raymond Parpart, who had not successfully completed the 8th grade. In the law at the time of 1920, it stated that no person individually or as a teacher shall in any private, denominational, parochial, or public school teach any subject to any person which was not in the English language. And secondly, languages other than the English language may be taught as languages only after pupils shall have attained and successfully passed the 8th grade. So they stated that he intentionally taught in the German language before the boy had graduated from the 8th grade. The problem was whether he had gone against the 14th Amendment, which also says that no state shall deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. That's what they were trying to figure out, is whether he had gone against that. And the plaintiff in error taught this language in school as part of his occupation, his rights thus to teach, and the right of parents to engage him so to instruct their children, we think, is within the liberty of the amendment. They also stated that mere knowledge of the German language cannot reasonably be regarded as harmful. So they were making the case that just because he taught in the English language, in the German language, it was not in any way trying to harm the child, but to help him, which he felt. They also brought in the Adams versus Tanner case, which pointed out that mere abuse incident to an occupation ordinarily useful is not enough to justify the abolition, although regulation may be entirely proper. They went on to determine that they're constrained to conclude that the statute, as applied, is arbitrary and without reasonable relation to any end within the competency of the state, and there seems no adequate foundation for the suggestion that the purpose was to protect the child's health by limiting his mental activities. And so the Supreme Court decided that this would be reversed, that it was not right for him to be convicted of this because he was teaching that was part of his job. It went on to further explain, after this case was reversed, that the Meyer and Pierce cases were used in order to help out with schools not being able to tell parents how to teach their children, as well as parents not being able to tell schools how to teach. Further, it stated that this goes along with what we deal with as far as bilingual education, that we're allowed to take our children to wherever we desire. So bilingual education allows children to learn in their own native language as well as in another language, and so this law this case was very important for that, as well as regarding the ELD classes that we may have at our schools to educate those students that need the extra help by teaching the English language to further their understanding.